Hello, I'm Nick Williamson. I'm an associate professor of marketing at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, USA. I have been working on this Export Odyssey student team-based project for about 26 years. I have a whole lot of experience with it. Export Odyssey is an undergraduate student team-based project, highly structured, that ultimately can call on members of a student team to actually attempt to make a sale of product to at least 3 or more foreign buyers in another country. It's not necessary, but it is optional from the student's point of view. The project pretty much covers the entire academic term. Would like to give you some examples of successful student sales. One student team sold a $15,000 piece of yarn testing equipment to an Indian trading company, sight unseen. Another student team sold quite a bit of rollers for imparting ink onto beverage cans to a buyer in Malaysia. Very recently, a company located close to Greensboro named Miss Jenny's Pickles it has become known as acquiring some kind of fame for following through on the suggestions of Export Odyssey student team members. One thing the Miss Jenny's learned from students that the United Kingdom was a viable target market for Miss Jenny's Pickles. The students were instrumental in finding a customer in the United Kingdom, and according to Miss Jenny, this customer in the United Kingdom has become a repeat customer that's just buying product over and over and over. And the student team sold parachute cloth to a buyer through a Polish entity, presumably to an unknown entity and a foreign intelligence agency. We never got the full details of that. But
the sale did go through.
Yes, oh yes, 2 sales went through.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the overall response, would you say, from the students is positive?
Very
negative?
positive. Oh yes. The students say that this is one of the only courses that provides them with actual tangible skills that are marketable regarding performance in the global economy. Many courses in international marketing do not emphasize skill sets. Rather, they, as you know, I'm sure, in line with the structuring of textbooks, they talk about, most standard textbooks talk about, for example, the economic environment, or the political environment, the cultural environment of business, the marketing environment. But just knowing information about the environments does not necessarily translate directly into the creation of marketable skills in the global economy. And therein lies the difference between the impact of Export Odyssey on students' applicability, their skill set in terms of performance in the global economy, as opposed to the standard course that doesn't involve experiential learning devices.
Stories of better resume, perhaps even a job.
Oh yes,
offer.
oh yes. Perhaps the best applicability of a student's experience with Export Odyssey is found in a situation where a student, and I advise students to do this, to keep a copy of their comprehensive final written report that typically has 100 exhibits and brings together all of the analyses of data and analysis of written documents out of foreign journals, magazines, and other such items. The students will take a given student will take the document, the final written report, put it on the table in front of a recruiter, and tell the recruiter to turn into this gigantic document to any page, point at the page, and ask the student to elaborate on the meaning of the information on that page as it relates to the overall Export Odyssey product. And when recruiters see that students can do that, they're overwhelmed. Oftentimes, a recruiter for a marketing job that has nothing to do with international business or international marketing will hire a student based on the student's manifest skills in addressing the requirements of Export Odyssey successfully.
And any job offers by
Oh,
any chance
yes.
from the companies that actually
Yes,
participated?
yes.
Would it make students basically unpaid sales force for the companies? And would that be ethical from the academic point of view?
Well, actually, from my point of view, interestingly, students should feel delighted and reassured if their efforts lead to a sale as unpaid salespeople for the company. But the reason is the tangible evidence of a student's having generated a sale is extremely marketable regarding the student's future efforts in landing a marketing job. So anytime a student can put on the resume, put the statement that the student has been involved in successfully making a sale to a foreign buyer while enrolled in a class, that is immensely important in the eyes of many recruiters.
For example, percent of the
Yeah,
sale
yes.
or profit.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be ethical and
Well,
positive to add that?
Yeah, we call that aftermarket commissions usually. I think it would be ethical, though, and in fact, I kind of humorously suggest that students set up a commission arrangement prior to their establishing a relationship with the host concern. Almost none of them do though, because for one thing, they don't believe that they're actually going to be successful. And when they end up being successful and actually making a sale, it kind of takes them by surprise.
So they're happy enough even without the
Yes.
reward.
Oh, I mean, the monetary issue tends to be minor.
Yeah.
The career impact is huge.
All the students on the team are from different countries.
Yes.
And basically, by definition, by default,
Yes.
the sale would be made in a country that is foreign to pretty much all team
Well,
members
yeah.
and perhaps every team member.
Yeah.
In your case, all your students are in the United States, but
No.
the sale has to
Okay.
be outside the United
Yes,
States.
yes.
So from that perspective, all your students have to make a sale in a foreign country.
Yes.
Is that a problem?
No, not at all.
By internet or-
It's by a combination of increasingly email with attachments is a viable device to use. It's coming to replace international fax messages. And once students come down to the point where it appears they're going to actually make a sale, sometimes there's a need for voice communication. And oftentimes students will use, in the preliminary aspects, they'll use Google Translate to communicate with the targeted customers in their own language as a gesture which should make the persons who receive the communications happy.
And then in terms of price negotiation,
Yes.
the students, I assume, would need to know what the company
Yes.
is willing to sell the
Yeah,
product for?
Yeah, well, usually, from the point of view of the students, the price is a given. The prices are specified.
Students have an option to
Yeah.
sell a product, but it's not a requirement.
It's not required.
If you removed that option, would
Yes.
Expert Odyssey be the same if the only requirement was to actually write the
Yeah.
report, but
No,
not attempt to
yeah,
make a sale?
No. The experiential part and the selling part engages students motivationally like nothing else I've ever seen. Once students are in a position where their abilities to perform in a real competitive environment are being tested, they are motivated 10 to 20 times as much as they may otherwise be to perform. Having the sales option provides unparalleled motivation to students. And it also provides them with the ability to prove, to externally validate their skill set. Here, I have made a sale to this person in Fiji, and that's an external validation of my skills. How many students can say that? No other students in the United States,
Right.
because this class is unlike any other class taught in the United
Right.
States.
Ultimate test of
It's the ultimate test.
effectiveness of your proposed marketing strategy.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.